It felt more like I was going to the slaughterhouse. Yeah, I felt like a lamb waiting for slaughter. That's what I felt like.
I'm Claire Parker.
And I'm Ashley Hamilton.
Welcome to Memoir Practice. We've decided that we are the foremost experts in the world on celebrity memoirs.
And we've decided that it is our duty to share that information with the next generation of memoirists.
So we are here to live edit the memoirs of celebrities who may be writing future books.
So please welcome Luna Sofía Miranda.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
If you were to describe your life's journey in a sentence, what would it be?
My motto in life is if you don't get a seat at the table, you go find a chair on the curb and you drag it inside as loudly as possible.
I love that so much.
And so what were your school years like?
Well, I hated elementary school so much. I went to a private school where I was on a scholarship, and I'm grateful for the education that I got, but I was really unhappy there. In 2008, when the fiscal crisis happened, my parents couldn't afford to send me there anymore, so they were like, okay, she has to go to public school. And my parents were/are both film professors, so we grew up watching a lot of movies. And they found this school. It was a performing arts school. And since I'd always expressed interest in acting and performing, they had me apply and I auditioned and I got a call back.
And did the 2008 crisis, did those financial strains follow you through high school and your family?
Those financial strains followed me right here to this chair this day. Yes. I mean, I'm very privileged that I grew up middle class, and I even think in the early days, upper middle class, but that changed.
When did you first start going to the strip club?
Okay, so my first year of college, I discovered that the campus had a burlesque club, and I thought that was really cool. We were doing drag and burlesque and performance art. And when my financial aid was taken away, I was really upset because I felt like, no, I have all these friends, I'm so popular. I was happy for the first time in a long time. And the seniors in the club were like, hey, we heard you're having money problems. You should come to the strip club with us. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in.
Did you prepare at all?
I had to send 2 photos to the owner of this club.
Just still photos?
Yeah, one of my face, one topless, which I had just turned 19. And now I know that that's weird. And I've worked at many clubs and I've never been asked to do that again. But it doesn't seem like anything bad came of it. And they lent me an outfit. They lent me a pair of shoes. They did my hair and makeup. And then I went to the club with them and they kind of gave me a tutorial and walked me through how everything would work, which I was thankful for, but looking back, I don't think it prepared me for what I was gonna find.
I feel like this is the story that you open on to grab people the hook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's the record scratch. How'd I end up here? Can you tell us how are you feeling? Were you nervous? Were you excited?
I wanted to throw up. I was so nervous and I just did not know what to expect and nobody knew about it. I mean, I'm out to the world now as a proud stripper, but it was a secret. It was a secret. I was afraid I'd be kicked out of school or that my parents would find out. So it felt very heavy.
You were stepping into this life that would be the secret part of you.
I guess it felt more like I was going to the slaughterhouse. Yeah, I felt like a lamb waiting for slaughter. That's what I felt like.
And do you think you were motivated more by being okay, this is a good way to make cash? Or do you think it was more the social aspect of well, my friends are doing it, so it can't be that bad?
That's a really good question. I wanted the money to pay for school, but also my parents were struggling, particularly my mom, who was forced to work in environments where she was being discriminated against. And I felt impotent. I was I will make money and I will give it to you so that you don't have to do this. And I think wanting to save your family is a very powerful feeling. More than wanting to pay for school, I actually think that was the driving force behind it.
And what came of it? Were you able to make the financial dent you had hoped?
No, I failed miserably. I was so bad at my job as a stripper. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's like senior stripper looking back now, but I don't think I was prepared. I don't think I knew how to hustle and make money or protect myself. And my parents came to pick me up to drive me home. And I told them, I'm dropping out of school. I've been working at a strip club and I'm going to move in with you guys and help pay bills by continuing to work at a strip club in Manhattan. My mom almost like crashed the car, like
God.
off the highway. Yeah. She was not happy. I mean, they were both really concerned for my safety. My dad is like very safety. He's always like, wear your helmet, wear your elbow pads, like wear a mouth guard. My mom was like, how could you do this to me? She felt that I had stabbed her in the heart. That's what she told me.
So hard. And you're like, I did this for you.
Yeah. And she was like, no, thanks. My dad grew up in like the United States in the 60s. He's an Aquarius. He's a hippie.
Okay.
You know, he was worried about me, but for him, it wasn't like a moral thing. I think for my mom, it was a bit more complicated. In 2022, I went back to the club after COVID, and my mom and I didn't really speak for a year. And then she got sick and died, or like really suddenly, and we never reconciled. But I know that she changed her mind because the last time I saw her, I was like, goodbye, I'm going to work. And she was like, you go to work and you fucking show those people you're the best damn stripper in New York City. And so I think in the end, she let that go.
There was like a forgiveness.
I felt it.
Yeah.
I can't explain it, but like I felt it.
So what brings you back in 2022?
During COVID, I had a sugar daddy online. It was a virtual sugar daddy. I got really excited about it because I remembered my days at the strip club and I was like, I can do this. This is a business. That situation with the virtual sugar daddy was a disaster. That would be its own chapter in my memoir.
Well, what happened?
Well, walk us through that chapter.
I feel like during COVID, a lot of people regressed. And I fell into a lot of behavior patterns that I thought I'd been done with. And I met this really wealthy, like 50-something-year-old CEO on a like sugar daddy app and got completely infatuated with him. He wanted to pay me in cash. And I was like, I live with my parents and grandparents. I can't meet up with you during a pandemic.
You can't get them sick.
And at this point, people were still saying you could get COVID in the mail. Now I know, but he refused to send me money online. And so I was like, okay, we'll have our online relationship. And when COVID's over, you'll come pay me. And he agreed to that.
Sugar daddy on layaway?
Yeah. I was 21. Believe me. But he'd agreed to pay me $96K for a year.
That's a really good deal.
That's a lot.
For you.
It was a lot of money, and I was so young and so naive, guys. He thought COVID was a hoax and was like, I'm done wasting time. Like, you have to meet up at a hotel and have sex with me, or I'm not even going to discuss money with you. And I was like, hold the fucking phone. I've sent you hours of like free content and like giving you hours of my time. You're not going to pay me anything. And he was like, not if you don't meet up with me. And I told my dad what was going on. And he was just like, it's okay. Like, you know, you're okay. Like, you didn't hurt anyone. Like, you're safe. If you want to make $96K, like, you're really smart. Like, I think you can go make it like however you want. In 2022, I had graduated college. I couldn't find a job, not even like a shitty minimum wage job. And I was like, whatever, I'll just go back to the strip club for a couple months, pay down my debt. I ended up making $96K on the fucking dollar.
Oh my God.
That first like 1 year stretch that I was there.
You like pulled your chair right up to the table of $96,000
I did.
by hook or by crook.
Hello, $96,000. You're mine now.
And then being in the strip club in 2022.
Did you meet anybody?
Yes.
Who'd you meet?
Well, I wasn't supposed to be there that night, but I was grinding hard because I wanted that money. The manager was like, do you want to come in and work? And I was like, hell yeah. And I remember seeing this couple at the bar because I hate couples. But I was like, go talk to them for 2 minutes. If they suck, you can leave. He was like, oh, we're filmmakers. You probably don't know what films we've made. And I was like, try me, bro. And he was like, oh, like we made the Florida Project and Tangerine. And I was like, dude, I'm a sex worker. You make movies about sex workers. How would I not know? And it was Sean Baker and Sammy Kwan. And we exchanged info. And 6 months later, they asked me to audition for Anora. And they gave me the part. They called me on my birthday.
Did they know it was your birthday? That was
No.
Oh my God.
Do you have a favorite moment from set?
I think it was being on set with all these sex workers. They happened to cast a lot of sex workers who are either already working in film or who really want to work in film. And being on set with all of them was really magical. And a few of us were kind of like, we want to tell our own story. Like we want one day soon to be the ones like writing and telling stories about our own lives.
And since then, how has like the film world received you?
It's been mixed. There are people who have been very, very supportive. And there are people who have been really negligent. And no one will outright like discriminate against me because of my job. But, you know, people profit off of sex worker stories and then like treat us as a community and us, the sex workers who were in the movie, with contempt.
You have the feeling that you're given less credit for your work in Anora than maybe like a non-sex working actress.
Yeah, I mean, I have a credit in the film, but I definitely think that Hollywood has a really, really long way to go when it comes to supporting sex workers. I mean, Anora won the Palme d'Or. It has 6 Oscar nominations, maybe a win, and I don't have an agent, you know, and I'm like struggling as an actress. I honestly don't know some days if I can realistically pursue this.
Do you think that the story of your life has been more shaped by like seeking financial independence or fulfilling your love of film?
That's such a good question. Sometimes I don't know what I'm after. I feel like there's a part of me that wants stability and like resources, and another part of me that wants like excitement. And like, I think a lot about how I can continue to find creative fulfillment, because for many years, the strip club was giving me financial stability and freedom. I don't know how much longer that's going to last. I very much feel that I'm dancing on borrowed time. And so I feel like the next chapter of my life is going to be this balancing act between making money and doing stuff that's important to me.
I feel like the next chapter is going to be so important for the memoir. You know what I mean?
I'm
I feel
so
like this
excited
memoir
for
has
it.
gotten like in the middle of its second act and we need to know. Can we pitch you titles?
I thought of one over the weekend, actually.
What is it?
Okay, so dancing at the club this week has been abysmal. Mind you, it's the first week of Trump's inauguration.
Yeah.
And these bros are coming in
They're
and like
Oh,
wiling the
God.
fuck out. And I screamed at someone like, this is not a fucking girl zoo. Like, you come here, you have to tip us. And I was like, girl zoo.
I
feel
like that.
that's-
Girl Zoo is really good.
Yeah.
I like that.
I love that. I'm really excited for this book.
Well, now I have to write it.